If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. Hi class, I'm Mrs. Redwine, and today we're going to go over, we're going to kind of extend our lesson that we did last time. We were going over positive and negative numbers. We were looking over on the number line, so we want to remember a positive number is anything that is greater than 0. So when we have our number line, we have 0, anything that's greater than 0. And a negative number is anything that's less than 0. So on our number line, anything less than 0, so the left of the 0, that's a negative number. We have our positive and our negative numbers. Sometimes in math, we're going to have to combine those positive and negative numbers. So today, what we're going to learn is how to convert your numbers so that way we can add them and make it easier for you, okay? So what we have here is our double sign conversion chart. So if you have an equation and you have two signs, you have a positive and a negative, or negative and a negative, positive and negative, anything like that. This is going to help you to convert the sign, and that way you can combine your numbers. So we have up here, we have our negative and our negative. You could convert that to a positive or a plus sign. We have our positive and our positive. That's going to be converted to a positive plus sign, so that remains the same. Negative, positive, be negative, subtracting sign. And positive, negative, same thing, negative. So we have two negatives, it'll be positive. Two positives will be positive. Positive and a negative will be negative. Okay? We have this. Now we have our steps. So these are our steps finding our equations, our double-sided equations. Okay? So our first step, we're going to find and circle the double sign. Number 2, find that pair of sign on the double sign chart right here. So we're going to be referencing both when we're doing our equations. And then again, we're going to have this on the board, but also when it comes to time, I'm going to make sure that everybody has their own conversion chart and their steps, so that way if you forget, you can always look back to it, okay? But we're going to have it on the board, and everyone's going to have their own, so don't worry. So we go to number 3. We're going to rewrite the problem with a single sign in place of the double sign. Because again, we don't want to have all these signs. It's just a lot easier, it's a lot better, we just have one sign. So again, this is what we're doing, we're just converting all of our equations so we can have one sign, so we can come up with our answer, okay? And then number 4, if the signs are the same, we're going to add it and keep the sign. If they are different, we're going to subtract the numbers, of course, the bigger minus the smaller number, and then we're going to keep the sign of the bigger number. So now that we have our rules and we have our chart, let's go ahead and try some of the practice problems that we have on the board, okay? First thing we have negative 3 plus negative 2. Okay, so now we gotta look. Okay, we have our two signs, we have our double signs right here. Look at our steps. Find and circle the double signs. So we already did that right here. Positive and negative. We have step 1 out the way. Let's go to 2. Find that pair of signs on the double sign chart. Okay, so we have our positive and our negative. So we're going to look up here. We're going to look for positive and negative. Here we are, positive and negative. And that's going to be converted into a negative. Rewrite the problem with a single sign in place of the double sign. So again, we're trying to make it easier. We don't want to have all these signs, everything, and it confuse us. So we want to break down the problem and convert it. So we have our positive and our negative. That's going to be converted into our negative sign. So we're going to rewrite this. Negative 3 minus, because we're going to convert these two, and then 2. So now we rewrote the problem. So now we don't have two signs, we only have one. Negative 3 minus 2. Now we're going to go to our step 4. If the signs are the same, okay, are they the same? Negative, negative, yes, they're the same. We're going to add them and keep the sign. Okay, so we do 3 plus 2 is 5, and then we're going to keep the sign, which is the negative. Negative 5. So we have our solution. So we have negative 3 plus negative 2 comes out to negative 5. Let's do another one. We have our positive 2, because remember again, we don't always have to have the plus sign to know that it is a positive. Positive numbers do not have to have the plus sign. So positive 2 plus negative 4. Okay, now we're going to look at our steps again. Step 1, find and circle the double sign. Let's look for our double sign. Okay, here we go. We have a positive and a negative. Right there. Okay. Step 2, find that pair of signs on the double sign chart. Looking for a positive and negative. So again, the same thing, positive, negative, positive, negative. There we go. That's going to be converted into a negative. Rewrite the problem with a single sign. So we have the 2, we're converting it to negative. So 2, positive 2 minus 4. Okay? If the signs are the same, we have a positive and we have a negative, so they're not the same, so we have to go on to our step 5. If the signs are different, they're different, we have a positive, we have a negative, we're going to subtract the bigger from the smaller number. So we're going to say, what is 4 minus 2? Is 2. And then we're going to keep the sign of the bigger number. So the bigger number is 4, and it's negative, so the answer is going to be negative 2. So when we come back, 2 plus negative 4 is negative 2. And we're going to do one more. This one is negative 5 minus negative 4. Okay, so we're going to go to our rules again. What does our first rule say? Find and circle the double sign. So here we have our double sign here, 2 negatives. Now we're going to find that pair of signs on our chart. So we have our 2 negatives. Negative, negative. That's going to be converted into plus, positive. And we're going to rewrite our problem with our single sign. So we get our negative 5. We're converted, we have our 2 negatives. Negative, negative. So we're going to make that into a positive. So that's where the positive is coming from. And then we're going to move down our 4. So now our problem is negative 5 plus 4. We have a rewrite. So are the sames are the same? No, they're not the same because we have a negative and a positive. So we got to go to step 5. If the signs are different, so they are different, we have a negative and a positive, we have to subtract the bigger from the smaller. So 4 minus 5 is 1, and then we're going to keep the sign of the larger number. So the 5 is larger than 4, so it's going to be negative 1. So we have here negative 5 minus negative 4 is negative 1. Okay? So now what we're going to do, I'm going to pass out, I'm going to have the leaders come up, the team leaders come up and gather supplies. We're going to get a whiteboard, and then we're going to have, I'm going to pass out everybody's conversion chart and steps, because like I said, everybody's going to have their own. This is going to help you with your homework. And we're also going to get into groups of 4. And I want everyone to work together as a group. You're going to write down your answers on the whiteboard, and when you're finished with it, when you're ready for me to check it, I want you to raise it up. So I'll come over. I'm going to be walking around. I'm going to give everybody about 10 minutes, and we're going to see how much that we can do. Okay? All right, class, that was a great 10 minutes. You guys did great. Everybody has their conversion chart. We have it up here. We have it on there. We have our steps. We have everything that we need to do. So we just want to recap what we learned today. So we learned how to convert when we have double signs. So when we have an equation that has positive and a negative, we don't want to have all of our positive and negatives. We just don't want to confuse everybody. So what we do is we want to convert those signs into a single sign. So that's when we're going to have our double sign conversion and our steps to do that. Okay? So now I'm going to pass out the homework. Everyone did a great job today. And next time we're going to go a little bit deeper when we're going to do our double digit positive and negative. So that's going to be even fun. We can add a couple more numbers. Don't worry, everybody. You have your chart, you have your steps. Everyone did a great job. Thank you, class.